What's up, Atlanta Fringe? It's Eli. I'm back here at Do You Validate Studio, and today we are talking with writer, cast, crew, everyone involved in the show Flay's Anatomy. We have Nathan, Britnney, Stephen, and Maxwell. Thanks for joining us, y'all. Let's talk a little bit about the show. Nathan, you're the playwright, correct, here?
Yeah, I'm the playwright behind Flay's Anatomy. It's been under other titles in the past, but this is where it settled, and so I've been kind of living with it the longest, for better or for worse.
Yeah. We'll talk a little about the inception of this show, where it came from.
It came from the distant past. Yeah, I think it's been a long road. It started with, I think, Maxwell and I have been collaborating for many years, and he's kind of our artistic director in the project, and he's been my eyes for a long time. And so I think being inspired by his visual art and the writing I've been doing, I think that's where the initial gelling started to happen.
Tell us a little bit about what the audience is in for when they sit down for your show.
Words like madcap come to mind.
Great.
Comic, absurd, iambic pentameter is a thing. We have just kind of a anachronism. We're playing in sort of the early 19th century idiom, and people say Victorian, but it's not really. It's kind of more a little bit before that, when things were a little wilder still. Victorian's a little more buttoned down, and we're still we're in the age of wonder, I like to call it. It's a little bit before the Victorian age, I think.
How has the show grown as people have come and joined your cast and jumped into their artistic process?
It's grown a lot.
Yeah.
So where we've come to now is we're basically playing, and Britnney and Stephen are two of our cast members. We're basically playing with an octet. So we have 8 players. They play with multiple characters, depending on scenes and episodes and so forth. And then we have a narrator. So we really have 9 performers involved at this point.
Wow.
In addition to artistic director, and all that. So it's become a pretty big, the anatomy has grown.
Yeah. Britnney and Stephen, what's it been like coming into this project, considering how it's been described versus other acting projects you all have done?
Yeah, so I joined the process, 2 years ago, and I'm a creator as well. I'm an actor primarily, but also a budding playwright, and so there was a lot that I appreciated when I got the offer for the playwright series with Working Title Playwrights, or the table series, excuse me. I was immediately struck by the language, which I think is something that the audience will be struck by, is the use of language, and also how it is not elevated, even though the language itself is not our own. It's dealing with, I think, when you kind of move through the flesh, it is dealing with some pretty real human issues, which is something I enjoy about it, and trying to find where those things are and how they affect the world and what it says about the world we're in now, because it says so much about the world we're in now. And I just kind of latched on, and Nathan couldn't get rid of me every time there was a new reading series or a new kind of iteration of this, as new plays always kind of grow. And I just wanted to make sure I was a part of it, because I'm always looking to be a part of projects that push the boundaries of what we call theater, push us to the fringes, I guess.
Yeah. So sounds like you've grown, not just as an actor in this process, but a storyteller, an artist.
Yeah,
like it's really the development of all those.
For sure. My own playwriting, which is huge. Not being afraid to go to the strangest corners of my own mind, where I also often feel the most human and the most creative thoughts come from. I think Nathan's does such a wonderful job of just kind of spilling that out onto the page and letting his intellect lead there too.
When Nathan hit my inbox last year, it was last summer, about doing this, and the first time I read the script, my head just bent. I was just so, because I was like, am I actually reading what I'm I was like, is this real? This is kind of such a crazy way to present an art form, right? Like the way the language is, but it's also kind of bringing it back to, Shakespeare and kind of what we know, but pushing us forward into a future in which we might not quite be sure of. And I really liked that. I also liked that the episode format of it is something I've not heard of in theater. And I think I asked him one time, I was like, what do you think about bringing this to television or film? Because it is, when you read the stage directions, which do get read out loud, they're so detailed and so vivid that it's almost, I get why people want to do film, right? Because it's almost like, what could we do if we had these visual effects? But Nathan being grounded in the fact that, no, I want to see how we can take this on stage is so compelling to really try and do what people think you can't do. You know, bring this imagery of blobs to life.
Yeah.
You know, the real reactions that the characters are having on stage and how they can facilitate in the audience while they're also reading the script.
Oh, wow.
You know, because like that in itself is like, you know, able to follow along.
Like this.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. We're all in on the joke. You know what I'm saying? It's not like we're pulling one over the audience's eyes.
Yeah.
They're with us. They're on this journey with us, even though the language might be a little bit more advanced than we might be used to. Right? And sometimes it's not. I don't quite. You might have made up some words there. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Could have happened. I might not be using the same dictionary.
see, you know, so there's a lot of unfamiliar things, but it's also unfamiliar to us.
Yeah.
You know, and so we're asking him, hey, what's this mean? So it's been very fun
Yeah.
to jump into something so dense, but also very light. It's about a cow.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Maxwell, I want to ask about your creative process a little bit in this piece and how this script has meshed with your styles and things like that.
As far as the script goes, it's not so much the writing that I'm drawn to, although the writing, seeing his style evolve over the years that we worked together has been thrilling to watch. I would say he's like a mad scientist and a genius, and his background in engineering certainly helped build such a substantial architecture to be able to like play with. We've worked and collaborated together for so long that it's easy for me to just kind of dive in to any place in the work with any visual language and vocabulary I'm currently working with, that we almost like preternaturally just like gel. If something doesn't work, he tells me, I adjust. And to be quite honest, sometimes I just ignore everything he's written and just we can have a conversation and it works. You know, I'm not trying to do a one-to-one thing because they're just stingers essentially, or covers. If we're doing a fully illustrated piece, that would be a little different, which we had worked on before. That went through a good bit of revision.
Yeah, we did worked on a narrative piece called the Boviniad a while back.
I'd love to.
And then one thing is interesting about that, because it's older now. It was when Maxwell and I were a little younger. All the images in that are in black and white, so it's kind of, you know, historical. But you know, so one thing that Maxwell's given us is these covers. So these are scripts that we've got, and one of the ways we're propelling this forward is to get the audience involved in having scripts, buying scripts. We sold scripts at zine festivals and stuff as a way to kind of, you know, push it forward. But the covers just kind of come from out of nowhere. They just work.
Yeah, it was Maxwell's. I mean, Nathan saw us all watch live the first time we saw Maxwell's work, and for me, I'm such a visual person, and I was seeing all of this in my head that when I saw Maxwell's interpretation or idea of the emotional landscape of this world drawn on page, it was like, oh shit, that's it. Like it was so nice for me to have a physicalized landscape that I could grab onto, and the one that I had created in my brain fit so nicely with the one that he had created that it was like the games that he's playing visually by using these sort of cartoonish images that are ingrained into the identity of anyone or millennials, at least I guess I could say, and just to see it kind of twisted and malformed and slightly unfinished and skewed incites so much and allows your brain to still use it as a canvas that you can continue to put your thoughts upon, which is something that I think Nathan's script does so well. In this strange alternative remixing of the classics while not being a classic, while using some of the shapes of the classic, while doing it in episodic TV-shaped form, is just consistently reminding you, like, question the theatrical experience that you are used to. Come with us on this. It will be silly. It will be fun. We will not make you feel not accepted here, because we're always going to hit you with some good bodily humor or some, you know what I mean? Like it is both bass and elevated, which I find quite a joy. And Maxwell's work just like was for me a kind of a final piece that locked into place where I was like, okay, that's the vision.
The landscape that we are like traversing, the one thing I wanted to try to evoke was like a moldy peach that you plunge your fingers into, and that gives like the best way I could describe of like how this work affects me.
Amazing visual. I'm there. Yeah. Yes, I can feel it in my hand.
Right.
That's awesome.
I see the cover.
Yeah.
It's like there's no smell or taste. I might be into it.
Why should Fringe audiences come see this show?
It's perpendicular to everything they've ever seen before.
You get to follow along. Ha.
I actually have an elevator pitch I asked Nathan to write a while ago. I'll read it. Flay's Anatomy is an experimental storytelling collective based out of Atlanta. We make gargantuan theater so large and out of hand we've had to break it into episodes. So it's kind of like a serialized radio drama or television show, except that.
Yeah, I was just gonna say basically what Nathan said, but way less elevated. We'll say it like they would on Hollywood. You never seen anything like this before.
It's funky.
It's weird. Come get weird with us. Yeah.
There you go. And then what's next for this project or for you guys as a team?
So we've got the Fringe next. We've got 4 shows coming up. We're very excited about it, and we'll be in 7 stages backstage starting tonight. But what we're presenting at Fringe, to be clear, is a medley. It's like we got 60 minutes, so sort of a best of in a way, where we've got some of our scenes that have just evokes the largest number of players, or is the easiest entry points, or just the most uproarious maybe of our scenes. But what we're looking to do this fall with Limelight Theater is actually produce an entire season of what we're doing. And so we're going to do monthly episodes and get people to come out. And we've it's been in development for a long time, so we think we can actually pull it off because we've had some of these people been working with these folks now for a good while. So that's the goal.
Yeah, and I still only have read episode 4. I want 14. I hear there's 14, if not more.
So, but yeah, it's a big thing. It's been growing for a long time.
Great.
We're excited.
All right, well, let the Fringers know the times and place where they can see the show at festival.
All right. You would think I would have this memorized.
Oh, I never did.
Tonight, 8:30.
Tonight's 8:30. Tomorrow night is
10 p.m.
is the late night one.
10
Tomorrow
p.m.
is 10 p.m. on Friday.
Saturday, 5:30. Sunday, 1 p.m.
It is. Brittany's got it. All right, well, thank you all so much for coming out. Go check out Flay's Anatomy at the Atlanta Fringe this weekend, y'all.
Thanks for having us, Elon.
Of course, yeah.